to call to order this regularly scheduled Board of Education meeting. It is Wednesday, September 10th, 2025, 5:30 p.m. Ms. Stokely, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Coco?
Here.
Mr. Gomez?
Here.
Mr. Harris? Here. Mrs. Schaefer? Here. Ms. White? Here.
Thank you. Item 2 is approval of the agenda. It is recommended that the Board of Education approves the agenda of the September 10th, 2025 Board of Education meeting. Action by the Board of Education and adoption of a consent agenda means that all items are adopted by one singular motion unless a member of the Board of Education, treasurer, or superintendent requests that any such item be removed from the consent agenda and voted upon separately. Discussion? Ms. Stokely, please call the roll.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris? Aye. Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
C1 is informational items. This meeting is a meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business. It is not a public community meeting, although there are opportunities for public participation. If an individual wishes to address the board regarding a topic found on the meeting agenda, the individual must complete a registration form found inside the attendance notebook and present it to the treasurer over on the desk. Following the introduction of the topic by the board president, followed by board discussion, the individual will be recognized. If an individual wishes to address the board regarding a topic not found on the meeting agenda, he or she must notify the superintendent and/or board president of the topic no later than 3 business days in advance of the meeting. These individuals may share their comments during the board business portion of the agenda. In both cases, the individual will preface comments by an announcement of his or her name and address and limit comments to 3 minutes. All statements should be directed to the board president. No person may address or question board members individually. An unabridged board agenda for this meeting can be found on your electronic device at the address on the screen. And for your convenience, hard copies of the board agenda may be found on the table by the sign-in book. The next regularly scheduled meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Board of Education is September 24th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. in the Cuyahoga Falls High School Library. And now for our Pledge of Allegiance and welcome, Mr. Gomez.
Please stand as you're able and approach the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, our vision, Cuyahoga Falls City School District, the hub of our community, committed to a culture of caring. We innovate, we create, we personalize education for all. Our mission, every student, every day, every opportunity. The board's strategic plan goals are as follows. Culture of caring. The Cuyahoga Falls City School District is committed to fostering a culture of caring for all members of the Black Tiger family. We believe that meeting the fundamental needs of individuals is essential for personal growth and success. Our goal is to prioritize and address needs from basic to advanced, ensuring that every student, staff member, and community member is supported in their journey by focusing on the unique needs of our district population. We aim to create an environment where all individuals can thrive academically, socially, and emotionally, facilitating our financial future. As the hub of our community, we will manage operational resources with financial transparency and responsibility to provide a safe, cost-effective environment that enriches student success and promotes positive growth while fostering strong partnerships. Steering to student achievement. We envision a future where all students are empowered to reach their full potential as lifelong learners and global citizens through personalized and innovative educational experiences that prepare students for employment, enlistment, and enrollment success.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Item D is presentations. At first, we have awarding of diplomas. It is recommended that the Board of Education grants a Cuyahoga Falls High School diploma to the following individuals who have now completed the requirements stated by the state of Ohio for high school graduation. We have Bradley J. Wakefield and Daniel Joseph Barris.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Ms. Stokely, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer? Aye. Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye. Congratulations. We're always excited to see graduates and that we're able Next is preschool recognition. I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Sullivan.
Thank you, Ms. Coco. Yeah, this evening I'd like to just take a couple moments to recognize you see a lot of people in the audience this evening, many of which are related in some way to preschool. So before I say my remarks, I would like those folks to just come forward, please, and stand over there if you are affiliated with preschool for your recognition. So come on up. Aaron Woodard, I'm going to call you out. Let's go. Let's go.
Just like to do your job.
A lot of
Seems
folks.
like, right?
All right, well, I'll stay here. I won't necessarily go to the podium. I'll read my remarks from here. So I've asked them all to come this evening for a number of reasons. I think people that here we're opening a preschool don't realize, you know, the magnitude of the work that goes behind it. Essentially what we did was open a school in itself. Be it a small one, nonetheless, it was a big task. So I just want to take a moment tonight to express my gratitude to the entire team who made the opening of our new preschool a resounding success. This project was a huge undertaking, spanning months of dedicated planning and preparation, and it would not have been possible without the tireless effort of so many people. To our administrators, thank you. You were the foundation of this project. You managed the countless logistical challenges, created the essential policies and procedures, and worked diligently to ensure every aspect of this new school met state licensing standards. Your foresight and hard work built the framework for a safe and welcoming learning environment. To our teachers, your dedication was truly inspiring. You were faced with the daunting task of setting up beautiful, functional classrooms on an incredibly tight schedule. The energy, creativity, and love you poured into those rooms are evident in every corner, and you've already created a magical space for our youngest learners. To our paraprofessionals, thank you for being the indispensable hands-on support. From assisting with classroom setup to organizing materials, you were right there, making sure every detail is perfect. Your contributions have been invaluable, and that includes our secretary/paraprofessional. And to our custodial crew, what an amazing job. You worked tirelessly for weeks. You assembled countless pieces of furniture and toys that began to annoy me after a while because I would see them day after day, hogging up, and not even my space, but Ms. Bogdan's office area over there. But you put all those furniture and toys together, and I kept saying, who was doing all this work? Well, it was all of them. So I greatly appreciate that. Meticulously cleaned the entire facility and made numerous repairs to ensure the building was pristine. You quite literally built this physical space where our students will grow. This was a true team effort, and your commitment to excellence is a testament to the Black Tiger spirit. On behalf of the Board of Education, thank you for your outstanding work and for the countless hours you dedicated to making this vision a reality. You have given your community a gift that will benefit students for years to come. And now, our gift to you, you will not get tonight because it has not arrived. But we will be presenting you with a plaque that will commemorate the establishment date of our new preschool program, and we'll display that proudly in the office. So we look forward to that. It will be in hopefully soon. And team, I just want again to say that you literally were responsible for opening a new school, and that is no easy feat. So congratulations. Thank you. And just another side note, two more things. There are other folks up here that aren't in the day-to-day operations, but certainly behind the scenes, registration, all of that. Sarah, that's Heather, Peggy has helping out and chipping in. That registration process, you know, we're still refining and getting better, and we will be ready seamlessly next year. As great as we did this year, it'll be even better next year. So what I'd like to do, one, is thank you all. We will have that plaque for you soon enough. And then we're just going to, if anyone would like to say any remarks, please feel free, by the way. And then we're going to have a little slideshow here to show you. So anybody want to say anything?
Mrs. Sabatiki.
We were giving you the stare.
I just want to tell you that it really does take a village.
comes to our students. And there are so many people that helped put this preschool together. And if you could just see the smiles every single day on 114 students that come, it would just bring you so much joy, because it brings us joy every day. And we have an excellent team. We thank all of you for your support. And we look forward to our preschool continuing to grow. So thank you so much.
Anyone else? All right, thank you very much. You may have a seat, hang around for the slideshow, and then we'll all look down, and if you all are gone by the time we look up again, we won't notice a thing. Except my folks here, they don't get to go anywhere. Nice try, Heather. All right.
You should have.
Behind the scenes. Student services touches a little everything. These are some great pictures Kristen took. So we were looking at them the other day. That's it.
Is that all there was? Yep. Okay. We had one, but the problem is the releases. So we only know that we have so many portions. Yes. We do have many more, which will be released once we get all those consents.
Thank you, Christine. I appreciate you
Yeah.
complying.
Yep, there's Cameron. All right, well, thank you, and thanks for showing those. And thank you again for coming this evening, and you all can head out if you would like. We won't penalize you for that, so thank you again.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is discussion of the elementary school closure. We put this back on as a discussion item this evening after having our meetings at both of the elementary buildings, Price and Preston, that the board has agreed that one of those two will be the building that is closed and repurposed into our preschool. So I'd like to open the discussion. I think the hope this evening is for all of us as board members to contribute just any recap or thoughts on those two meetings. And then moving forward, I know that it's hopeful that we can set a date that we would all be comfortable with in making that decision. And also, if there's any data or anything else that has come out of these meetings, if those are items that you would need in order for us to make this decision as well. So.
I can start, yeah. Well, I had to write down some notes here. I want to just thank everyone who did come out to both those meetings. We have said it multiple times over and over again. This is a very hard decision, but a very important decision. I'm grateful for the members, staff, students, everyone who came out and shared their voices, listened, and asked some questions. So we do appreciate that. And thank you, Dr. Selko, for the presentation. Thank you again for everyone who has compiled all this data that we have needed to make this decision up until this point. You know, at the heart of this process is that guiding question following everything here, is how can we move forward in a way that impacts the fewest students and families while keeping our schools strong for the future. Through this process and through that presentation, we saw some data as related to enrollment, current projected enrollment trends, class sizes, how we can keep them manageable, what resources we can do. Closing a building has to make sense not only for today's numbers, but also for what we're expecting down the line. Transportation and safety, we're considering bus routes, ride times, boundary lines, how long, how these railroads and how these major roads are going to impact transportation. Building logistics, getting a tour of the building to see how we would be able to turn these two schools into the alternative building school and into the preschool. There is one building in my own mind that works best when it comes to those logistics. And then the community impact. We recognize these are not just school buildings, they're anchors in our communities. We do understand that. Closing any particular school is going to affect the district as a whole. Again, we understand that. So with that said, kind of rehashing everything that we have up until this point, at least on my end, I do not feel I need any further data at this point to make my decision. Going forward, I feel like I have everything to make my decision and would be very happy moving forward with setting a date to let folks know. So.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Ms. Schaefer?
Kind of repeating a little bit what you said, with all the people that have spoken at the meetings and the many emails that we've got, and even though this is such a hard decision, one glimmer of positivity that we've gotten out of this is the many positive comments that we've gotten about the individual staff and the teachers and principals and just everyone working with the students about the, how great they were with working with their student and what a positive impact they've made in the lives of their children, and moving forward they're always going to have hold these memories dear with their students. And that I have personal memories of my I went to Richardson, I went to Bolick, I went to the Cuyahoga Falls High School, so I also share those memories. And it's obviously closing the building is very difficult, but it's something that we have to do so that we have financial stability moving forward for all of our students. And kind of reiterating what you've said, some of the things we're looking at overall, the condition of the buildings, the future use of the building, what's going to be good for the preschool and the alternative high school. One thing that in the emails that we've gotten, we're like, can we look at the test scores and everything? That wasn't one of the biggest factors that I've been looking at, because those students are going to be spread out amongst the other buildings. So that wasn't one of my biggest factors that I've been looking at. Teachers being relocated to other buildings. How are students going to be displaced amongst the other buildings? That's something that I think that I've looked at more heavily than some of the other factors and the boundaries. Something that I've been looking at is parking situations. Both Price and Preston, which are the two schools we're looking at, their parking situations are both kind of abysmal, if I'm being honest. Busing situations, building sizes, and then like the cost savings overall closing the building, which I think is fairly similar for both buildings. So I don't think I need any more data at this time to make a decision. I think I'll be comfortable moving forward, yeah.
Thank you, Mrs. Schaefer. Ms. White?
Pretty much the same thing. I would also like to thank everybody that spoke or sent emails. I know it's heartfelt. We went here too, and I went to Price, and so that would be very difficult. But I also had friends at Preston, Pam, Kathy, just so many friends that I met later at Sill, and that were kind of friends throughout high school. So it's a hard decision, and I don't know what else to say that my two board members already said, except that it's very difficult. I don't think I need any more information. I'm pretty well set.
Thank you,
And
Ms. White.
quicker the better.
Mr. Goins?
Yeah, I was a Preston kid,
Yeah.
so on our board alone, regardless of what school closes, it's gonna be one of the board members,
Yeah.
elementary schools is gonna close, so we feel it. Both Ms. White and I grew up on the east side, and
Yes.
Mrs. Schaefer raised her family and still lives on the east side, so, we get it, we feel it ourselves. I don't feel that I need any more information at this time. I think, what I'm hearing the most, and this isn't to minimize our Preston and Price families that'll be impacted building we close, but what people are reaching out to me most about are the boundaries and how that's going to be. And so if we can make this decision at our next meeting, which would be September 24th, then we can really get to work on refining the boundaries impacts for whichever building is going to be closed. And I think that then will give our community time to see what we're coming up with and give the same amount of feedback into that process as well, which now seems to be the hotter topic of the two topics. So I think if we can commit to September 24th, I think that would be helpful so that then folks can engage in that process as well. I think, as you all know, one of the pieces I've done is really dig into those, I call it rough draft 1, which is what's out there. And as we've said, that's not what's going to ultimately be the boundaries. And then looking at those, any way you mix it, there is one scenario of a building closure which will be much more disruptive than the other, and that is very convincing to me if our goal is to impact the least amount of students in the place. So that, all things being equal, all 6 of our schools are amazing. You know, as I kind of listen to all the things as we've gone through this process, it's great that we've heard all those things from all of our buildings about what a great culture. I wouldn't want my kid to go to any other school. I think we've heard that about every school. And that's a great thing to hear. The confidence that people have in our schools is a good thing. And it's been enjoyable. And then the last thing that I'd share is at Price, one of the people that spoke last week is a family that I know very well. I've known the part of the family my whole life. And at the beginning of this process, the person who spoke was extremely critical of us as a board that we'd be even considering this. And then last week when he spoke, he said, now I feel comfortable because you've shown that you've done your homework. And so even though I'm not happy that we're at a place where we're making this decision, it did make me feel better that someone who was one of the most vocal critics now feels like we've justified why the decision needs to be made. So I feel like we've done our work in terms of that and showing and explaining to people why we're where we're at.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. And I am in agreement as well with everything everyone said. I was going to mention that throughout this process, because we started talking about a closure of a building, and we did get emails from and comments from parents and caregivers from all 6 of our schools about our culture of caring and how much the staff in that building has taken care of their children on an educational level and, you know, emotionally and all of the things. And to hear those stories from all 6 of our buildings as a board member, to know that is happening. And we know that it's happening, but to hear from our parents that they know and appreciate that it's happening in our buildings is, you know, priceless. And with the data, looking at the data, I'm also ready to make a decision as well. And I do appreciate everyone that came out to our 2 meetings that we had, and the feedback in general, as you said, Mr. Gomez, has been, it hasn't had the tone of we're angry that you're closing a school. It's been, we understand why, because of all of the data and the homework that we've done, and that we involve the community throughout the process. So with that being said, I would propose that we put this on the agenda for September 24th, if everyone is agreeable to that, and make our decision at that time.
It has to go on as an action item though, so there has to be a recommendation. And I would think, I don't know where we want to put on the agenda, but there is that option under Robert's Rules where it says like, it is recommended that the Board of Education close. It could say blank elementary school, and then someone could say Preston or Price.
So we
So
would
we
have
could
it
do it
on
that
the
way.
agenda with blank.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone would make a motion and then we would discuss.
Make a motion in
to
a second,
add
and then someone can
Price or Preston.
say this one or this one.
Okay.
Be under board business, probably.
Mhm. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. And again, thank you, Dr. Selico, for your presentations at both of the buildings. And,
Can we talk about the boundary piece a little bit, since that's like our next lift?
sure. Under, like right now, with discussion?
Sure.
Okay.
Just because obviously that would be the next piece of this, and we have like I call it rough draft one, like that's out there in the community, and that's what people are reacting to because that's what we've given them, obviously. And so whichever building it is that's decided on, that's like the next piece. So I don't know if Dr. Salko, if you want to talk to that about like where do we go once we decide a building. Where do we go from there in terms of that?
Yeah, I think, you know, I would get with Ms. Johnson, our transportation supervisor, let her know what the board's decision was, you know, have her get to work, right, on proposing some different scenarios. I think she certainly wouldn't just do one. I think there would be some options that she could give us to look at, using her software that would do that for her. Again, keeping in mind all the things we've talked about, right? Railroads, main thoroughways in which, you know, children's safety might be at risk, how we address that. So I don't want to speak for her because I don't know timeframes, but I would imagine she would need, you know, probably a couple to a few weeks to come up with that information.
Can we also say that we would want to keep buildings whole so much as possible? Because like in that rough draft, one of the things people have reacted to a lot is that like there are buildings where the boundaries get changed, but they're not taking in kids from any of the closed schools. And so there's been a strong response to that.
So I might suggest then, I could take that back, but if there are other priorities of the board that you would like her to consider while doing this work, I don't need them right now, but if you could let me know what they are, I'll gather that information and then pass that along to her, and so while she's doing that, she'll be mindful of the priorities of the board.
Okay.
Yeah, that would make some sense.
Can I ask a question, and you might not know this answer, but as the boundaries change, if someone's school changes from a school that's not closing, would they be most likely being bused, or we can't tell that yet?
It will all depend. I mean, there are a few things that I want to be really honest about and transparent with folks and parents, that we know that, you know, I've already prepared our team. Like, this is a couple years of a lot of transition and a lot of work and a lot of thought that has to go into this. And so while we're going to transition to a new campus, we're going to kind of take a new journey here with the redistricting. And the next thing that will happen is, one, we will use the mileage, right? So whatever that is for elementary,
It's 1 mile.
1 mile, yeah. So 1 mile we'll use as an indicator. Again, there will be some exceptions. So if they're going to whatever school they've been assigned, if they're more than a mile, we're busing them. If we were to force a child in rare situations, which we haven't done, and we haven't done it yet this year, we got close. Whereas if our enrollment's over, you know, in one area, and we have to say to a parent, we don't have this a position or a spot here, they have to go to another school, then we would provide the busing because we're making them go to a school that's not their own. Again, I don't know that that would happen in this instance, but what we're going to be faced with is the number of people. I've already had people reach out to me saying, like, already predicting ahead, and I've just respectfully asked them to just, like, let's just take one step at a time, because there are so many things that have to happen before we get to the point that if my child goes to DeWitt, next year they're going to Lincoln, I'm already thinking I want an intra-district exception to come back. And we just have to be very honest about that. I don't even know what that will look like yet, and if we'll be able to even honor that, because It may be very difficult to do. It may not be. I don't know. And then how do you choose, you know, is it a first come, first served basis of those that request, and we can honor if there's room in other schools? Like, we know we've thought about it. It's just where are we going to land and what are we going to be able to manage if and when those things happen? Because we know people will want to, you know, to do inter-district. I just would imagine there'll be a lot of that, but how are we going to handle that will be the next question.
Thank you. Anything else? Brings us to item E, Treasurer CFO's Business Consent Agenda. Mr. Clerk.
I'd like to recommend the Board of Education approve all items listed in the Treasurer's Consent Agenda.
So moved.
There's not a ton going on here, except for meetings. And then some donations, which we always like to point out. There's a number of them again, especially starting back up to the school year. There are quite a few for the Black Tiger Family Center, and a number of other ones for the athletic department, the Ben Curtis, we're seeing those again. So really thankful for everything that's on here. It is a pretty lengthy list this time.
Any comments? Okay, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
That brings us to item F, Treasurer CFO's of Business. Thank you.
What did you do? I know. Like, I can't even see. All right. So financial health indicators. Yay. This is something new that the auditor's department has come up with, kind of a metric to go along with the audit and some other things in accompanying DEWs. As you know, we had to do a written plan with our forecast and things like that. So I'm just going to go over, sorry, something stuck in my throat, kind of the overview of it, and then what we look like. So this has been in effect for the fiscal 23, fiscal 24. They have data for us that is shown. So what are the financial health? Oh, I'm sorry. You don't know what that means. What that means? You don't know what you're talking about right now. I'm going to tell you. We're going to get to it. So, as I said, it's a series of financial metrics and ratios. So they're taken from basically our audit and our financial statements. And so it's kind of, again, it's kind of like the forecast. It's a little different version of it because it's based on our audit, not necessarily, so it's overall, not just the general fund. But, you know, it's supposed to help us recognize signs of fiscal stress so we can have a more of a proactive approach before we would get into a fiscal watch or emergency situation. So the Auditor of State developed these, looking at trends and analyzing data from districts that did experience that. Down there are two links where it goes more in depth and it breaks down like each indicator and what it is and kind of a user guide for that and then the description. So I wasn't going to go that far into the weeds, but they are there and they show every little one and kind of walks through the report for you. We'll find out. So understanding this, so they have what's called the stoplight system. So each indicator of the report is assigned a color to kind of represent the outlook. So kind of like if you're at the airport and they're giving you a color. So positive is green, so you didn't meet any of the criteria for a cautionary outlook. Cautionary outlook is yellow. So this is kind of like, hey, heads up, you're aware. It's not as serious, but if you're not paying attention to it, if you don't address it, it could become a critical outlook, which is red. So this is most serious, signaling a potential high risk of financial stress. And so this is where you should really, review and consider the steps to alleviate the condition. Similarly, part of the discussion we just had, things like that. So there's a couple that because this is not only for school districts, it's for any entity that's audited by the state governor or by the state auditor's office. And so there are certain indicators that don't apply to schools. And so you'll see a black there because it's not relevant. It's not something that's measured. So when do they signal stress? So they caution you not to look at any one single indicator and panic, basically. So not one single indicator should give you a sign of, oh my gosh, we're in fiscal distress. But you should look at it as a group of all of those indicators. And so what they have found historically is that higher level of financial stress was when a entity had at least 6 critical or red indicators, or a combination of 8 critical red and yellow cautionary indicators. Obviously, the higher the number of the red, the critical, the higher the level of stress. So what's included in the long report? So there's some key components. So they give you a cover page, which I'll show you kind of later, which is the color block, and it gives you which indicators and whether they're green, yellow, or red. And so it's kind of like a block. Then the indicator details. So there's a page dedicated to each of the 16 that are applicable to schools, showing you a description, why it's important, and what the criteria is for critical or cautionary. So how they determine that, what their thresholds are. There's graphs and charts, so people that like pictures, there you go. And then it does provide a separate document link that gives you all the specific financial data that has been input and used to generate the report.
That's for your deep divers like this one.
Yes. She's already read this and is well versed. And so with that being said, the next part we'll go into is what ours looks like, and I will say we've done the best we can. We say I'm ready for this, so I hope you're ready. So here is where it is here. So you can hit the next two, or just one, sorry, yeah. So 2023, so this is the 22-23 fiscal year, so it's always audited. We're on a little bit of a lag, so that is the only kind of downfall of this. Most of the time we kind of know if there's an issue before this because of the forecast. But for instance, we just finished fiscal year 25. That audit has not even started yet. It will start sometime next month, and then probably won't be completed till late winter, around that point. So right now you can see right there where it says, if all blocks to the left of this line are critical, then we may be experiencing fiscal stress. If all blocks to the left of this, I think that's supposed to say, left of that line are critical or red, it's anticipating in the next 2 or 3 years. So maybe not immediately, but you can see that we do have a cautionary to the left of that to the next little part there. So in 23, you will see we had 1 critical factor indicator, 2 cautionary, so we're a total of 3 negative, as they say, indicators. 2024, we had 3 indicators that were red, 6 cautionary, for a total of 9 negative indicators. Some of those, again, as we have a dwindling cash balance, some of that is going to be just how those go. We are obviously aware that we have some issues within our budget as far as especially general fund, and that cash balance is dwindling over time as we're stretching out those dollars. So it's not terrible. So we are in that kind of anticipatory next 2 to 3 years, which again is not new news to anybody sitting at this table, which is why we are making this recommendations and the decisions that we're making right now.
So I reviewed this, but it wasn't clear that they're using our audited statements, which doesn't make sense, cause those are so much in arrears. Wouldn't it make more sense if they were like using our forecasts? Because then they're getting like current financials.
There's a lot of things that would make a
But
lot more
don't,
sense
like-
in my job that I would love to just.
Because like, in theory, this seems like
I know,
it would
it's
be
late.
helpful, but it's really not, because they're giving you
Right.
projections off of old data, and then we have current data which tells us
Correct,
we
Correct.
know if we're in a bad financial position or not.
Correct.
And then that's kind of what the 5-year forecast is doing.
and this probably won't come out until the spring, because once our audit is complete, that's done, it has to be approved by the auditor of state, and then once that's
Yes, the
done, it
public.
has to go through their review and whatever, and then they do this. So while we get the results of the audit and all of that, maybe around February, this is gonna come well after that. So yes, I agree with you, but.
And we're already in the next one.
Yes, we're almost in the,
Right,
we're
right.
planning for the 26-27 school year, we're
Yeah,
talking
you're
about
opening budgets.
24-25. Go to the next one. So takeaways, which we've kind of gone over here, is that, we have 9 indicators, that are considered negative. This is above the historical threshold that the auditors determined, and so, which is a shift, obviously, from the previous year's report. And so, as I said, we are trying to be proactive in this and search for things that, we're able to make changes to or help, rectify the situation. And so, they'll keep doing it, but again, it is delayed, and so it's not as, things are changing all the time and every day, and so it's hard to say, okay, well, based on, we've already moved forward with a bunch of stuff, and things could have totally changed. Obviously, you look at the state budget, you look at different things, all that kind of stuff is a factor, and it's a little past the time.
So not to say the same thing that you just said, but the same thing, so to make a proactive change based on this, you're not gonna see that for like a year and a half.
And so the point is too, is that like, you shouldn't be going from all green to like, oh my gosh, we're all in red. At the same time, it's, as you can tell, that one was like, hey, in 2 to 3 years, you're gonna have potentially an issue, especially if you're looking at, previous years and that. And so, obviously you have a lot larger situation if you're going from like, hey, all green, and maybe a scattered yellows to like all yellows and reds. That's something serious has happened there, that I would hope you would already know about. But I guess I can't assume that for everybody. So this is, I guess, more of that long range, trying to like get you to pay attention, like, okay, these things are starting to turn, where do we go from here? But yes, it's still,
Is this a pretty well-respected tool?
it's new, so I can't say it is or it isn't. I don't think there's enough data and historical for that at this point yet to say whether it is or it isn't. I personally would say that our forecast, now this is talking overall, everything that we have, but really, I mean, those other accounts are either self-funded or grant-funded, or somehow, we're not struggling to pay operating expenses out of all of those other funds necessarily. So the forecast is really gonna be, because it's in real time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose if I try to think through auditor lens, which I'm not, but I'm experienced enough with that. But it could potentially be a good tool if they're looking for like broad ways and abuse.
Yes,
Because if you're going like, if you're a district that goes from green to red,
yes,
something's probably going on.
right, something's happening.
So
Or has
if,
happened.
like, from their perspective alone, it probably is a useful tool
Yes.
for their office.
Yes,
It's perhaps not as useful at the local
for the
level.
entity, yeah,
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 but from their perspective, I could see how it's useful for what they're trying to do.
yes. So, with that, I do have one more thing, well, after this, because I know you're like, you really wish you would have told me that last little bit, but I did, sorry. And good is coming, right? It has to, because I don't know, I've had bad months so far, so good better be coming. Good is coming. I got brakes out on one car, hit another car, like, woo! But my favorite, it's a little snippet, it's a little under 2 minutes, but it's one of my favorites.
This looks expensive. This is some new bedding. David, didn't I just tell you to save your money? Yeah, I am testing this out for the stores, so work is paying for it. Work is paying for your bedding?
I was gonna leave, but now I don't want to.
What is that? Is that a new lamp? Yeah, I'm thinking of bringing homeware into the stores, so that's a write-off. That's a write-off? Yeah. Do you even know what a write-off is? Yeah, it's when you buy something for your business and the government pays you back for it. Oh, and who pays for it? Nobody. You write it off. Who writes it off? I don't know. The write-off people. Why are we having this conversation?
So if I need booze to get through my day, I can just write that off.
That's a stretch.
But the skincare products you got this morning, those are a write-off.
What skincare products? You purchase skincare products? Okay. I am the face of the company. If I have acne, what does that say about the legitimacy of the store? That's not a write-off. That's not a write-off. This? Not a write-off. Oh, well, the bedding's non-refundable, so... David, a write-off is a business expense used to reduce your taxable income. Okay, well then, why isn't it called a tax write-off? It is! It is! You can't just buy things for yourself and write them off. Well, then I'll return some things. There's not enough space in here for the massage chair anyway.
I should get back to work, just in case any more of your packages arrive.
We'll leave her that easy. That's it. Any other questions? Yeah, the links in there provide a little bit more backup detail, so if you're interested, Ms. White, I know you are, I'll be dying to look at it.
Did you email us that thing?
Yes, I can, yeah.
Don't do it.
And that brings us to your comments.
Really don't have any because those were most of my comments. Just that, we're getting off to the school year. It's been busy. It's been a little wild. It seems like I say every year it's going to calm down, and then the next year it's worse. But just thank you to everyone for being patient and all of that while we are all trying to get by.
Please call the roll.
There's no roll.
Oh, sorry. I got thrown
I mean,
off.
I can.
I got thrown off by the little clip. But item G, Superintendent CEO's business consent agenda. Dr. Salica.
Thanks, Mrs. Coco. It is recommended the Board of Education approves all items listed in the superintendent's consent agenda. Okay. So just a lot of routine items. We had some positions there under personnel, changes in classified, again, positions that have changed there. We have the RESA mentors, so again, that's teacher mentors that are going through for our first year, second year teachers. We have some leaves of absences. We have some retirements that I'd just like to mention. We have a number of them, and they keep coming in, and I think this is about the time in the next couple years we'll see, since the number of years of service was changed. But we have Elizabeth Hammond as a first grade teacher at Preston, Brian Jenkins, cleaner at the high school, Donna Soros, who's a kitchen supervisor at Bolick, Lisa Holman at teacher at Preston, 4th grade. We have Joanne Schmelzer, who is a 4th grade teacher at Preston. So I know we'll be honoring them at the end of the year, but I just wanted to acknowledge all those folks and thank them for all their service and just appreciative of what they've done for our students in our district. We have some substitute attendance. We also have some professional development stipends that are listed there. One was an addition that we didn't put on the last time for Zern. We also have 3 memorandums of understanding. Those are all relative to us being the fiscal agent for title funding for those 3 schools as listed. And a service agreement with Case Western Reserve, and that will be for our social worker interns. So we're excited to have that additional help. And then lastly, a contract for services Learn Well, which you're familiar, seeing the education responsible for students who are in various facilities.
Thank you, Dr. Sullivan.
Thank you.
Any questions?
I just want to recognize some of our retirements as well. Miss Holman and Mrs. Smelcher, who were my 4th grade teachers, the last of my elementary teachers to retire. So congratulations to them. And then Beth Hammond as well, who's a longtime family friend.
Okay, Ms. Stepwright, Ms. Carroll?
Mrs. Schaefer? Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
That brings us to Superintendent CEO's business, Dr. Sullivan.
Thank you. Just want to address a couple of things. First off, with the closing of the schools, I know you all had a chance to make comments. I also, echo and feel your, the tough decision that you all have. I feel the same, stress about it and angst a little bit, and I'm well aware of the impact we're having on our students and families, and it doesn't feel good. I know that it's very difficult, and, while it may be a lot at times, receiving emails and feedback, I do appreciate the fact that people are passionate and caring for their children. So while it might be a little additional work in response to people, it's not a burden by any means. I do appreciate people sharing their testaments, and the positive remarks do help as well. That's nice, and I think generally people have been very kind and gracious, understanding the tough decision that we have to make, and know that no one wants to do this. So I am appreciative of the people and how kind and really how people have handled it in this community. So I'm grateful for that. I also want to talk a little bit about a couple of the events that have transpired in the last couple of Friday nights. I want to just take a moment to talk about that and some of my thoughts and some of the things that we're doing to address that. So a couple of Friday nights ago, I was here at the game. A few minutes into the game, we had a person come and strike one of our students on his bike, and it was not anyone that was affiliated with our schools. That was the person who hit our student. She was a young woman from Barberton, actually, but it was an unsettling incident. It's unsettling for people who witnessed it, who were around. There could have been the damage and injuries could have been a lot worse, so I'm very thankful that it was not. We prepare, we have huddles every Friday afternoon, we have our security plans in place. Mr. Gesford goes through everything. We have all of our assignments, we have everybody, we have police present. We do all the things we can to protect everyone and our visitors, but you just never know. I mean, you can't prepare for everything, and so you just do the best you can. And unfortunately, that happened, but fortunately, no one was injured and shaken, and we had a great response. Police, we are always cooperating with the police in their investigation. We have to be careful in our messaging because we never want to compromise the police investigation. So sometimes I will get comments from parents, or why did you not say this, or give us more information. Truly, I have been asked respectfully by our officers not to release information because we could compromise. They were looking for that woman, for example, that evening, and if I give out more information, then I might know some of it, but I'm just asked not to say it. So it's not withholding to be, stubborn about it or indignant. It's just because we kind of have that agreement that we can only release so much, and a lot of it we don't know, frankly. And that would lead into the incident on Friday night where I was receiving lots of information throughout the weekend, but some of it, quite frankly, conflicting from different people who were either there or heard from a family member or a student. And so the last thing I want to do is put out inaccurate information. So we erred on the side of not putting out a message. While I considered it, I felt it was isolated, it didn't happen on our campus. We did find out that some of our students were present, and I want everyone to know that we did provide resources for our students. Counselors were on site. They did follow up with every student that was present or impacted by it, and many of the children did want to speak, which I thought was great. So they shared their feelings and thoughts about that. So with all of that said, I want the board to know I'm in the process of putting together, crafting a letter that I will send home to our parents, most likely our secondary parents. I've been known to do this before, but it's really in regards to a couple of things that we've been seeing. One, I know people are, there's some unrest when we hear of these events happening, and I want to acknowledge that. But I also want to point out that these incidences weren't triggered by our students. The student who was hitting another student, the shooting that took place, those were not our students doing those acts. It is hard to control people who come into our community, right? As a school community, we don't really have a lot of control over that. Football games, we do. We actually don't let third-party school students into our games. If they're not affiliated with the opposing team, they're not allowed in, unless they're with adults, of course. So I want to just point that out. We are also having, we've had an issue. I've been seeing a number of students for drug offenses and at the secondary level, and it is not unique to Cuyahoga Falls. It doesn't help any parent feel any better. I have a middle school child who I worry about, who goes to another district and who also, knows these things that go on in the district as well. But I take a tough stance. I don't tolerate it in our schools. I give quite a stern talking to with our students that are in front of me and along with their parents. And then we also are, I always say in my hearings, if they're there for expulsion, I'm there for twofold. One is a consequence, the other is to help you. Because if you are using at a young age, you need help. And so while we dole out a consequence, I give a consequence, we also are mandating support, Saturday sessions, family centers. We have a list of resources. Our social workers follow up with our families and ensure that they're getting in counseling for their students. So I just want to point that out because it has been time consuming, it has been concerning, and we just want to make sure that we're sending that message that it's not okay to do here in school. We will not tolerate it. And I also spoke with the police chief, Chief Norfolk, yesterday, and we had a nice conversation about, we always work collaboratively together, but I wanted to pick his brain a little bit about his expectations of our students in the community and let him know how I feel about our expectations in the community and how our children are to conduct themselves. And so we're on the same page, and it's, some of it is consequence, but it's also shaping and helping and rehabilitating our students. So we're working on all of those things. I just want the board to know that. You'll see a letter coming out from me to our parents. I've started it. It's probably 3/4 of the way done. I keep trying to finish it. There's been a lot going on. So that letter will be coming out from me. And I felt it, I'm sorry that it took so long, but it is a very important topic that we need to address, and I want our students to be the best, and so we're going to help them get there. Now, for a bit of good news, just a couple things. We have our tailgate. That is happening this Friday. We're very excited. We have a number of fun events planned, and then, as you know, it's homecoming as well, and then we will have a dedication ceremony at halftime, so we're looking forward to that. And so that, we have a practice for that, I think, on Friday, everyone who's participating, and invite the board to also be on the field alongside with me and Jason, I think, and maybe KJ. A few of us will be on the field. We'll have some remarks. I'll have some remarks. Ty Linder will be doing a history of the, just some words about the history of Clifford Stadium. So that'll be a nice event, and then people will have a chance to walk the stadium for the final time, and we'll give them a half an hour because we will have to close the stadium at some time, so we can't linger too long. So about a half an hour we'll give them to do that.
And we have Mrs. Shoemaker as well.
She is coming.
Yeah,
Yes.
people in the community have really appreciated that when I've shared that with them, so I think it's good for you to mention that.
Yes.
We've reached out to that family as well.
And I always forget the hyphen. Clifford
Shoemaker.
Shoemaker, yeah. So I've been speaking with her. I've spoken with her a number of times, and we reached out and invited her, and we do have a little token that we'll give her that evening as a token of appreciation that she can hang in her home as well. But I won't say what it is yet. And then we have, so with that, we received some really good news that last Thursday, we had our core team meeting, and it was we learned that the stadium, we received all of our permits for the stadium, so we are able to get in, and we will be able to have that Friday night football and band perform on October 3rd. And so that was a great sigh of relief. We don't have to get tents and porta potties and da-da-da-da-da. There's a lot of work that's going to have to be done and an expense that we'll save. So I wanted to push it a little bit more, and I said, so since we have those permits, is there any chance we can maybe get in earlier? Because I think it'd be really cool if our soccer teams could get in. And the answer was yes. But we had to go look on Friday. So Friday after school, afternoon, I went with KJ and Lucas and our architects and engineers, and we walked the field, and we just wanted to make sure we could do this. And so we are pleased to say that our girls soccer team will be playing on Saturday morning, this Saturday morning in our new stadium.
At 10 a.m. if you want to come out.
Is it 11 or 10?
10 a.m.
Is it 10? Okay. Well, good. I'm
You
glad
need
you
to bring
said
up
that.
the graphic again, Dr.
No, I'm glad you said that, because originally I was told 11. I'm not making that up, so I'm glad. See? Yeah, see? See, yeah. Pardon me?
There's a new one going out in an hour and a half.
Okay, there you go. All right.
A new
We have the
one?
right time? We have
Yes,
the right
that's
time.
the correct time.
Okay. See, I'm not losing my mind. It was, someone did say 11. But nonetheless, yes. So we're very excited that it'll be our girls soccer team that'll get to play on that field. Now, also, it's really difficult to say grand opening, and we really aren't doing a grand opening. And the reason is our school's not open. It's one of those weird, dichotomies here where the school is available, or not available, but the stadium is, and so we just want to have kind of a soft opening. Let's work out the kinks with our soccer teams. Then we'll have October 3rd. We'll be able to really, have a full stadium at the time. But we're looking to do more of a grand opening. Our ribbon cutting will be in December, and then next season we'll do something a little bit more grandiose. But we have enough celebrations, saying hello and saying goodbye, and enough that'll keep us busy for now. But we welcome everyone to attend. I think that'll be great. And I think that is it. Sorry it took so long. There was a lot to share.
Say something about the football incident, because people have said stuff about things we've done for safety in the buildings, but because of some of the additional cameras and the quality of the cameras and stuff like that, you were able to pull video that night and help identify the young girl from Barberton. So just wanted to say that as well, because I think that's important.
We knew right
to
away.
say. Because of the additional cameras we put in the parking lot and the high quality of those
They
cameras,
were very good, very
we
good.
were able to provide that information to the police. So I think it's just important to note that those are kind of the unseen safety improvements we've done, but without that, who knows?
We turned it over to the police right away that evening. We saw it right as it happened, turned it over, and they had her within a couple hours.
Do we have the safety meetings
For parents?
for the secondary for the students?
We are working on it. We have some tentative dates. We are going to expand it this year, the topics. So in the past, you may recall, we had also invited parents to attend those, families. They're welcome to come during the day and see our assemblies. And we have hit, typically it was around threats and bomb threats and shooting up the school kind of comments. And thankfully we haven't had that yet, but hopefully we won't. But we really want to expand it to the things that I talked about: school violence, drug use, etc. So we're working on kind of rewriting that script a little bit, but we're trying to secure dates. You know how difficult that is when there's several of us: judge, prosecutor, chief of police, etc. So, but yes, we do plan on doing that in September. I'm looking at Christine, but end of September, early October, when we had dates.
There's 3 or 4 dates. Mr. Guessford is the one that's coordinating with all the different individuals.
Yes. Thank you. That brings us to board business. Item 1 is a request to address the board. I'd like to call up Cynthia Curtis. If you could please come to the podium to use the microphone, and you'll have 3 minutes. If you could please state your name and address at the beginning.
We just gave you a good lead-in too,
Yes.
because I know your topic.
Not at all planned.
Good job, Scopely.
My name is Cynthia Curtin, and I am the new judge at the Stowe Municipal Court. I wanted to stop by to introduce myself so you can put a face to the name. I was appointed to the court by Governor DeWine at the end of May. I bring 35 years of litigation experience to the bench. That's included jury trials, appellate argument, motion practice, negotiation, mediation, arbitration, you name it, I've done it. I've represented small businesses, large corporations, national insurers, national retailers, many of which I know you've shopped at, and individuals. I have handled a variety of different cases, from products liability, premises liability, personal injury, motor vehicle liability, estates, probate, construction, insurance, zoning. And I know there's more, but that's all I can think of over the past 3 decades. So rest assured, I'm well prepared and experienced to handle the duties of judge. But what I really wanted to talk to you about was, I think there is a need to educate our young people on the life consequences of committing a crime and having a conviction. So for example, do you know what an enhanceable offense is? Do you know under what circumstances your driver's license can be suspended? And there's more than one. Do you think that all convictions can be expunged? So these are things that are not common knowledge, that people don't really know about. We don't talk about them. It's just not in front of everybody's mind. I think that if we educated our young people on some of these topics, they might think twice before making the wrong decision. So I am available to talk to any middle school or high school class. And the best part is, it's free to the district. I'm a free speaker. My bailiff, Dawn, she's in the back. She's with me tonight. I can easily be reached at the courthouse. So my address is 4400 Courthouse Boulevard, Stowe. And Dawn would be the contact person. I already have 3 or 4 school districts that have taken me up on my offer. I hope you do too. I really would like to talk to your young people, so help me help them. And with that, I thank you for your time, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you very much.
We have that program in place with Judge Coates, I think it's been 2 or 3 years?
2.
2 years?
Actually, might be 3.
3, where she's come in and spoken to all of our 6 through 12 kids.
Right.
Yeah. She's a friend of education as well. Our highest civilian honor.
It's a good idea.
Item 2 is approval of support organization. It is recommended that the Board of Education recognizes the following support organizations: Cuyahoga Falls Middle School PTO and Richardson PTO.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, I just had a question for Dr. Slocum, because Ms. Schaefer and I were at the Christ PTO meeting, and they were talking about this process. So do we send out like the forms that they need to fill out? Where do we send out the reminders to them?
Yes, Mr. Jones has taken, last year, he kind of put everything together, because as you may recall, it was with Mr. Johnson, and we took it over in our office. The first year, we weren't as organized, we improved upon that, and so he's created a letter along with a website, a link to a website that they can click on all the forms that are there, and he does send reminders to all the presidents, that at least the names that we have, so hopefully we have all the right names. But if someone has a question, we certainly can reach out to Mr. Jones, and he'll be happy to walk them through. He's walked people through things. He's done all the research on all the requirements quite extensively.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Stover, please call the roll.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye. Thank you. Item 3 is future agenda items. I was just going to say, our next meeting will be the report card presentation. Right?
I'm out of town the 24th.
Oh, okay.
So,
After that.
Well,
That's
the meeting
okay.
after that is 5-year forecast.
yeah.
Yeah, this is the problem we ran into last time.
The problem is the Department of Education
Yeah.
workforce isn't releasing the
Yeah.
report card data until
It would've-
September 15th.
Yep. It would have limited our presentation, because so many of the slides, we wouldn't be able to kind of pull that from the report card. So thank you for your patience. I can maybe work with my family to do a virtual presentation. I'm happy to do that. If you'd like, on the 24th, so I could do that. Or we could wait till later in October, so I apologize.
To the 2nd in October.
I think,
don't-
so at my State of the Schools is on September 29th.
Correct.
I will be hitting some of the highlights on the school report card. So you might get a preview and then maybe wait till October for the rest of it? More detailed. Mrs. Hausman will give more detail. I'll give the high level marks, because we
okay?
should have what I need by then.
Well, it might be advantageous to do these both on October 8th. So if we're doing elementary school closure on the 24th, and then we need 2 to 3 weeks at least for Ms. Johnson to come up with stuff, so that means that we'll be going through all of that on the second meeting in October. So it might make sense to do 5-year forecast, which we know be probably a more truncated presentation, like 30 minutes max, and then the report card at the October 8th meeting, because we've got deciding on the elementary school on the 24th, and then probably talking about boundaries for the first time in depth at the second meeting in October.
And we also have Top Tigers on the 24th and the 22nd, so if we were
Not
going
the
to put.
24th, not until October.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, I was saying on October
Oh, October.
22nd and September 24th. So if we're going to do 2 presentations together, the 8th would
We
probably.
don't have Top Tiger in September.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's what
Yes,
I'm trying to say.
sorry, on October 22nd.
Yeah.
But if we're going to do 2,
Yeah.
it would be better to have them both on the 8th, because the 22nd
That would make the
has
most
Top
sense.
Tigers.
Yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate your
Yeah.
understanding.
And we can do
Okay,
both.
Very
so-
kind of you.
Can you repeat that for me one more time?
So October 8th will be the 5-year forecast and the report card.
And the report card. And then the 24th, we'll do the building closure. And then we'll plan, the last meeting in October, we'll have our first Top Tigers of the year. And then
And potentially
tentatively
a presentation
on boundaries,
Or have
which would be probably a pretty extensive
on
conversation.
October 22nd, if that gives
Plus
enough.
whatever else business we have to handle.
Right.
Now, I don't put videos in my presentation, so I might have to go first.
So that's
Ms.
Well, yours aren't as
Stoikoi
good as
is,
mine.
is
That's
the
kind of
closer.
all that.
She's the closer.
Okay. Is there anything else then to add? That brings us to item 4, committee reports. Up first is Ms. White, 612 construction 14.
Yes, actually, they met on Tuesday, which.
Not Thursday,
Oh,
Dr.
there's-
Salko.
I'm so used to Thursdays.
That's all right, because I
Yes.
totally forgot.
We did just
I apologize. I just went about my day, you know. I get a call from Mr. Joe, where are you? Oh, okay. But they did pass me the notes. I'm not used to it either, because we've had them on Thursdays forever. But, just a few things, I know, but Thursday, I know, that's why I thought it was Thursday, but okay. Anyway, just a few things, that Dr. Salko made notes for me. The astronomy dome is complete, so that's awesome. The stadium fencing, the completion is pending, the final landscaping and seating. The elevator inspection, yay, is done and complete. The furniture installation has started, and that'll be ongoing through November. And they're gonna start in building 1, then 2nd and 3rd in the high school and middle school. And the stadium arch design will be the end of October, early November. That is when you come into the stadium, there'll be an archway there. So, it's really moving along. It's, it's getting so close, and we're all excited to see that finished and complete.
I remember asking Lucas about the furniture, and
Yeah.
he said they don't do it till the very end,
Yeah.
and they walk up every single piece of furniture. They walk it in and they walk it up too. So something goes on the 3rd floor, they literally walk up every single piece of furniture.
Yes, so
So
it
when we're
takes
there,
time.
on December 6th. I hope we all appreciate that.
I know.
Those construction
Exactly.
people walked up every single thing in there.
So I think that was, Dr. Selker, did I miss anything important?
No, I think I covered a lot of the
Yeah.
stadium we talked about.
Okay.
I was there last Friday though, and it is looking gorgeous. Yeah, and the furniture is already starting to go in. Yeah, and you're right, Mr. Gomez, they do walk all that
Yeah.
up.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for them. It's hard work.
Miss White, we're gonna have to find another committee for you soon because.
They said this was gonna continue, so I guess it's gonna continue,
Oh, they did say that for a little while.
I guess, for a little while, so
'cause
yeah,
just off the
you know.
Teardown Bulwark.
Yes.
Don't
that's right.
forget I have the DLT, which is 7:30, and then the gift is.
I think I'm in the doghouse tonight.
You just don't get early when you're retired. I'm not I'll zoom in.
But you were there, you were there.
I know. But I forgot what I was gonna say now. Well, doesn't matter. Yeah, so.
Athletics and Activity Council, Mr. Gomez, you don't have anything this evening. Board Policy Committee, we don't. And then Business Alliance Council, Mr.
Yes.
Harris.
Yeah, we met yesterday. Had a very packed room full of folks. I think a few new faces as well. So it was good. Good turnout. Just kind of more basic stuff, introductions. Doc kind of went over a little bit about our preschool launch. Talked about some of the successes of that as well. Reminded folks of our ribbon cutting December 6th. Went over a couple other important dates as well. Went over and explained a little bit about our levy, so folks understood exactly what that was. Going to be expecting that. And then I talked a little bit about the portrait of a black tiger and how the folks, those stakeholders can be involved in that process as well. So, we are looking forward to that and hearing some of their, their insight on that. Possibly having Jeff come back in and help out with facilitating that as well. So it was a good meeting, and look forward to the next.
Thank you. For Financial Advisory Committee, we did meet since our last meeting, and Ms. Stokely did a great job giving a recap and where we are with our finances, kind of a precursor to our 5-year forecast. I get to see it twice, so we did that, and then there was some discussion around the upcoming levy as well, and the need for the renewal of that. And then I'm also on the Foundation and Alumni Association Committee. We met last night, and they are very excited about representing and being at the game on Friday. They'll have a table there and information about the Alumni Foundation, ways for people to sign up, and they have a raffle basket as well. So they're excited about the new building and everything happening, but of course they're excited and happy to be involved with the saying goodbye to different parts of our history and remembering those. And then of course they're excited for Top Tigers to start. And as far as their membership drive that they kick off with our staff, they do the contest through the end of September, I believe.
Yes.
They have already received more memberships for the alumni this year than ever before, and we are only halfway, not even, we're third through the month. So that's great news on that as well. And that brings us to Mr. Harris for legislative liaison.
Yeah, I don't have any specific updates, but as legislative liaison, I'd be remiss not to mention some of the comments we received from the community events as it related to some of the stuff coming out of Columbus. There were a lot of people that were talking about, funding in general and our enrollment and the cost of transportation and stuff. And a lot of that, a lot of those issues, you can look straight at the State House, and that's where a lot of that's coming from. Vouchers, that's taking kids from our public schools. That's why we're seeing enrollment falling. Busing, we have to bus kids to private schools. That's costing money. School funding in general has just been abysmal. Public school funding, I should say, is something that they are strategically trying to kill in Columbus. So for those parents and those people in the community who are concerned about some of these issues, please write your state legislators. If you need their contact info, I say it all the time, please contact me. My email's on the district website. I'm happy to provide you their contact info, phone numbers, emails, because we need, you guys are concerned. But I want to make sure you are reaching the right people who can help this problem and make things easier for us here in the district. So that's really all I had to say as related to that. Just a few comments that we got in those community meetings.
Mr. Harris, didn't they rule that I know not the Supreme Court, but the one court ruled the vouchers were illegal, but it does go to the Ohio Supreme Court.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, there's very...
It was the Franklin County Common Pleas Court, but she stayed her decision pending appeal, which they appeal it, so it goes to the 10th District Court of Appeals, and then once they make
Then
their
it
ruling,
goes.
if they affirm her ruling, then it can be appealed to the Supreme Court.
Hoop after hoop.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Harris.
Just about transportation too, because if someone takes a voucher and they aren't busable within their boundary for their public school,
Right.
they may then be eligible for busing, because the busing is different in terms of private school busing. It's the 30-minute rule. So then we either have to put them on a bus, or we have to take our money that we get to pay them to pay their parent for their transportation. So it hurts us either way, because it's taking money out of our pockets, which is the state's funding us for our kids that are in seats. So it's not taking from our state tax dollars that we're getting, because our state tax dollars are for kids in seats. It's taking money away from the local dollars that we have to go out and get our funding for on our own, which private schools don't have to do.
Thank you. Ms. White, student achievement?
Yes, we met at 7:30. Yes, but we went, they went into teacher efficacy, and they read an article and discussed greater levels of planning, and to be open to new ideas and be more persistent, less critical of student mistakes, and less inclined to send students to special ed. Because sometimes you get frustrated and you want to know this kid can't, shove them off. But we tend not to do that in our district. Collective efficacy, this is where all teachers have a say and have a positive impact on student learning. And that's very important that each building take that together, not just one or two, but they do this together and have a positive impact. The next thing that they looked at was how can we use the data, the results, to help our teaching get better. And really, you need to focus on the standards that we did for the last 2 years. And then it did show 54% of standards tested showed a positive growth, which really was great. And then 32% of the standards have seen over 20% improvement. And that was the writing standards, which means the world to me, because I've been calling for writing across the curriculum forever, seems like. So I was really happy with those results. Then we looked at math and the fractions and how you go about teaching and assessing for those conceptual understandings, and how to spiral review. I don't get math that well, but at any rate, it's good to see that we're trying to think, how do we use this information then to teach our kids so they get it? We talked about finding a focus, the subject view, an overall standards view, those power standards, or what are you? Priority standards, yes.
Same, but it's
Same
exactly
thing,
the
but
same.
different terminology. And then the shared action from each building, what they are doing, how they're getting there, and then the number of standards that improved, pacing resources, all children on the same focus area, and so on. And then we also talked about them, because sometimes they don't know what to do in their buildings when they go back from the district teams. You know, what do we do? So we talked about how, you know, what they should kind of be doing, and it's not mandated. It's, you know, what they kind of need to do, look at, choose some standards, look at the data and how to improve and how to assess that standard. And then have an exit ticket so that we know that they've done, you know, trying to get there. So I just thought it was very interesting that now we're focusing on actually doing things and collecting the data to see how much we've improved and how to engage the students and to get them to learn. That to me is the focus that we need. We've got the new schools. We're looking at, you know, how now the academics. I think that's our final step for me as a board member. I came in wanting to build a new building. We got it. I'm so happy. We got a good treasurer. We have an excellent superintendent. So we hit those things that we needed, and just one more, another push to get us academically where we are excellent. And I'm ready for that, and I think we're getting close. We're getting there. So, yeah. So it was a good meeting. I don't like getting up that early, but I sure like listening to the teachers come up with plans and ideas. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. White.
Did I cover most everything?
Did great.
Okay.
See,
That
you
was
were
pretty
listening
good for
even early in the
7:30.
morning.
I know. No.
That brings
Thank
us to item 5, comments. Mr. Gomez, you're up first.
Yeah, I was able to attend our first home football game almost 2 weeks ago now. And it was enjoyable. The stands were very full with all of our alumni football players as well as our alumni cheerleaders out cheering along with our Black Tiger cheerleaders as well. Though Ms. White was not out there cheering, though she is an alumni cheerleader.
I am.
She
I
did
missed
not.
it.
She did not go out on the field.
I wasn't there.
I also
Which is probably for the better. I wasn't out there. Okay,
got
sorry.
a high kick in. So attended the Price PTO meeting as well as the Silver Lake Home and School League meeting and our open house at the preschool.
Yeah, that was
Oh yeah, the
DeWitt.
DeWitt. Oh yeah, I was at a DeWitt PTO meeting and their tailgate.
Lincoln's.
It was good. Yeah, I forgot. I did a lot of things.
There's a lot going on right now.
You do.
Yes. Mr. Harris.
And I was on vacation, so I missed a lot of that stuff. But I think I mentioned in my last comments how excited I was for the football games. I didn't realize that I was going to be out of town for the first one. So I'm looking forward to this Friday. Very excited about it and ready to cheer on our Black Tigers.
Thank you. Mrs. Schaefer?
That also busy. I got to sell donuts at the football game. That line was so long. It was very exciting. I saw a lot of classmates cheering and lining up for alumni football at the game. It was a very exciting game. And so I was with Mr. Gomez. We've been trying to attend some of the parent organization meetings, the Home and School League at Silver Lake and DeWitt, and then the tailgate, Price meeting.
You went to PTO.
Oh, yes, and I went to the high school PTSO meeting, and their vendor event is October 4. Wanted to bring that up. Also, their teacher breakfast is Friday. They had a lot of questions about the new building. They're pretty excited about the new building. And, gosh, there was one more thing. No, I should have written it down and I did not. I'll remember it as soon as we close the meeting, so. Yeah,
Thank you. All right, Ms. White?
Well, I have not been able to attend too many things due to personal reasons, and I don't know that I'll be attending as many as I used to, but I am planning to attend this Friday. I'm excited to see Clifford Stadium. It's so many memories there for, I'm sure, all of us. But I remember cheering out on that field and, yeah. So, any rate, I think it'll be worse when this building closes. I'll be like, oh. But any rate, I am looking forward to the garden party as well next Wednesday. And that's always special. And then the game Friday, so, yeah, looking forward to those things.
You did a few years ago win an all cheer uniform.
No, it wasn't a cheer, it was a band
A
uniform
majorette.
and majorette that I cannot get into. There's no way. It's like a size 2.
They
and
were
it's-
selling Cheerios
No
last
way.
night at the game. Maybe I can get you one.
Oh, gee, it'd have to be back in the 70s.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. White.
They like to make fun of me. If you haven't noticed.
It's because we
I know,
care
it's so
and we
fun.
love you. I don't have a lot to add. I went to some events as well. The first football game, the stands were very full, which was exciting to see. The 8th grade band parents were there as well. They did their 8th grade band night where the 8th graders get to go on with the high schoolers. It's very exciting. We had to move our vacation dates for my daughter to be able to be there that night. And it's cool because they kind of partner them with the high school band
They do.
members and talk to them about how exciting it is to be in the band. And they actually then were invited to after parties with the band. So whatever instrument you played, if you played the flute, then you got invited to the flute after party. Or
I can't believe my grandson's doing
it's a great way for them to connect with those up and coming high schoolers and
is.
start that
And they take it very
camaraderie.
seriously.
And
the
they
high
do,
school
and it
kids.
really,
They
I think
do.
it really does, you know.
I'm sorry.
And no, it'll be especially, you know, the 6th through 12 campus with everyone.
Yeah.
I know they'll still be in different parts, but it's exciting they did that.
It is. They do.
And then I went to the Washington DC as a parent, not a board member, meeting on Monday. And I'm really excited that in that tour, they had added in the African American Museum and the Holocaust Museum. And really, I was very happy to hear that that was in there. And that there's also, I can testify, a huge push for attendance and for behavior are tied to most of our extracurricular things for our students. So it is expressed very plainly to students and to parents that, you know, attendance, obviously if it's a medical issue, that's different, but if you're not coming to school, you don't get to do the extra things. And if you are not making good choices at school, you do not get to do the extra things. So I just wanted to, it's something as a parent I've witnessed, and just thank you to everyone that, you know, has those standards for our students. And excited about this Friday and everything else, and Saturday now for the soccer game too. So that's all.
Ms. Stewart, can you tell us where and when to meet on Friday night during the game? Because I don't think most of us are coming to the private, so like, where would you like us at? And like, how close to halftime?
I think.
And can I think about that in email, all
Sure.
of you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, I'll
Thank you.
email
I was trying to-
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah.
Right, because it's going to be packed, so we need to know where we're going to be. Yeah.
I might try.
Awesome. Item J is
We gotta get through this.
Item J is adjournment. It is recommended that the Board of Education adjourns this meeting.
So moved.
Thanks. Ms. Stouffer, please call the roll.
Ms. Coco?